Sounds like what was his name from Community? Asian teacher.
I think it was an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we've
we've got Renegades on. They're going to be defending to kick things off in their first match of this season of ECS. As a nifty Nafly, a optic refugee, Ustilo and JKS. Let's see what these boys have in store for SK Gaming, who are, or maybe have something in store for Renegades since they're on the aggressive side. The bomb should be lost immediately. No one's seen Ustilo just yet. He is picking them off one by one. They have no idea he's there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, not quite getting that kill. And I mean, he was in a position to win him the round, but it can be awkward to just land that pistol shot when people are moving ever so slightly. So perhaps advantage has come and gone for Renegades. 2 versus 3, Nifty and JKS. They still got flashes, still got a defuse kit, and Nifty no longer has his head. JKS just fishing for something. They will rue this if they lose this, and they will lose it.
Oh my gosh. The man advantage lived and died with him there. And he missed so many shots. And it's really tough when somebody is strafing, and I think that's because when someone's looking at you, you can predict which way they're gonna move. But if they're not looking at you, it's kind of like shooting at a bot. You know, sometimes it can be very hard to anticipate their movement.
A lot more awkward than it looks, I assure you. There's no need to rage. Put your Twitter messages away. Press the backspace button. 4 high explosive grenades for Renegades. SK, I'm sure, will have a slow and measured approach to this, but they'll still go for the early Renegades grenades. Early grenades, Renegades.
Early grenades.
Yeah, I mean, you should. I would say KYO, know your opponent. SK are very unlikely to be there with that timing, so I do think that was a waste.
Yeah, a little bit. There was no tell either. It was.
You'd hear them anyway.
Yeah, they would hear them. Yeah, that's true. And if they were walking, they would have taken much longer. So they just didn't have that.
So lack of focus, and that does not bode well for round 2 of Cobblestone.
Not very good. Panic rotate in. All the terrorists aggress onto the site. Bomb will go down safely, and maybe no more players will die because Fur is going to hear that players are rotating out, and we'll pick up.
Do you even want to give them the kills in this situation? I think some teams don't go towards the A site here with USPs and a 5-7, especially with the expected SMGs.
Are you saying for Fur not to push?
No, that the CTs could. Well, they basically went for I don't know what towards the A site. But some people would just like go to T spawn or something.
No, absolutely. I think you should not give them the kill reward. I think it's actually they should pressure Fur into having to push as a lurk to get as much money for the SMGs as possible. I don't even think SK should have went to hunt them with the AKs. I think people don't think about how much money they're making. They think about more about winning the round than anything else. Oh wow.
Nice. I've learned to almost give up and just suggesting these things. Because it happens still so often. People just want the kills.
Yeah, people just want the kills.
They just want the kills. They don't think about the money implications later on. Because the thing is that like even if it's not the SMG kill reward, even if it's like just like a regular $300, that's still a smoke grenade later on. And how many times do we see teams just like having to make the decision between like a helmet and a smoke grenade? It's just.
We get 3 kills of those Mac 10s. That's $1,800.
Yeah, that's.
So when you're trying to win your first buy round on the CT side, you don't want them to have that kind of money.
Yeah, and you think, okay, well, maybe they think they can win, but if you look at like, what kills are hardest to get, retake kills are hardest to get. Yeah, it's, defending on a site is hard enough with USPs. Retake kills are that much more difficult.
That's the thing, like, you can take some really sneaky setups that are so hard to punish, but people will run into them because they just want the kills sometimes, and they're expecting it to be easier. Or there's that perceived advantage Mac 10 versus armorless, helmetless player. But into this round, we're starting to see Renegades looking fairly cozy. The kill of Phelps will definitely help. Good job from Nifty there. SK looking pretty intent on this drop area. They still have a player lurking towards the A-long area as well. For winning position here, drop.
Anybody wants to learn how to take drop, just watch SK. They do it in a way that's almost impossible to deal with. They'll fake drop as many times as they need to. They'll use the appropriate smokes and Molotovs to make sure that no one can stand inside of drop, and then if you try to retake it, they're ready. Coldzera watching for his back on either choke point, so it's extremely difficult to take this back. And once you have drop, this is the middle of the map. You know, screw mid. This is the middle of the map that you can split both A and B.
This is interesting, actually, the way the rotation's working for SK. Attacker does get the pick on Nafly, but... And there is a few helmetless players. Fer doing a good job there. The action was forced. This is a really good round to study, actually, because obviously they lost Phelps. As you mentioned, the first thing you want to look at, okay, how did they take the drop? Second thing you want to look at is how does Fallen... Because Fallen's playing alone with an AWP on A long. Like, he's clearing that place alone. And then what happens is, just as the Molotov is thrown by Fer, which truly clears both drop rooms, then Fallen's in position to catch rotation with his AWP. Like, the timing is perfect. As when he's looking towards the doors from A long, he was there for about 10 seconds on that angle, nothing happened. He rotates back down to middle. He can catch other rotations from that position as his team is still exerting pressure onto B. So it's just like, it looks like only maybe one or two things are happening, like the POV that you get, but like the entire round is constructed around this. So it just adds to your point there.
Yeah, absolutely. They have multiple ways of drawing attention on both A long and B to take attention away from drop, to just make it impossible to focus on one thing at a time for the CTs. And as soon as there is an opportunity, they fall down, and then it's too. You can't give up drop. You can't. It's too. I mean, people do it, and you can if you have 5 players watch both sides. But if you do it, you give. It's like giving up connector, and then allowing for an A split every time. Do you want to have to deal with the A split every time? No, you want to stop the split before it starts, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's so powerful. Like on this map, like on the A side, the craziest thing is like the best way for a CT to deal with it is as you say, like if you take drop, you can stagger the offense. You can offset that timing of how the split works, and that's really the only way to stop it, I think, generally speaking, unless you do some crazy sight hold or something, or people miss some shots.
So the other hardest thing is that, let's say, well, so let's call drop mid because you can split A and B. Say on cash, if T's take mid, every CT will push A main or B main, right, or something, extremity. On Cobble, you don't have many options as CT to push things. So that makes that drop control that much stronger.
So this is going to be a tough round to play back into for Renegades. They do have Nifty on the AWP, of course. They're trying to make do with what they have. Some armors, rifle on JKS. Though he does get dings, but he's done what he needs to do. He's taken again this control of the drop area completely in its entirety. Cold was there to back him up for the repeat there. Nifty was the player with the AWP as well. Let's not forget. And Naf. Oh my God!
No, dude.
God damn!
This is winnable for JKS. There's time pressure for SK. But as time goes on, they will get into better positions. But Phelps has got to put the work in. Maybe Taco peek second. Oh, the flank.
Damn. Nifty had the absolute worst spot possible. That is what the B split is intent on doing, is completely neutralizing the back of the pillar, and you can see him splitting up his attention in 3 different ways, but his reaction.
Ooh,
wow, man.
Goodness.
All headshots too.
Wow.
That's insane. Honestly, it's insane.
Yeah.
What is it? $500 for a CZ?
No, isn't it 100 or
no, to buy it.
To buy it.
oh, to buy it? Yeah, 500.
That should be Deagle money at this point. To be honest, it should be 700.
I don't want one more thing to take my attention away from whether or not I should buy a deagle. I'm not going to buy a revolver because you can't get 1 deags with a revolver. You can only get 1 deags with a deagle. Nothing feels better than that. So I don't have to decide between a CZ and a deagle.
But you could get a CZ with a flash.
With a flash, yeah.
That's the same as a deagle.
That's true.
So you could be a team player and a mad fragger at the same time.
Mad lad.
Mod lads.
Hashtag mad lad.
r/mad lads.
Much talking going on in the chat that we can't see. And
I want to know.
that is a server pause, so something technical. One would presume it's happening. Much discussion going on. So I think there is a technical issue that these teams are dealing with at present. Try to find out how long this delay might be.
I would love to. Sorry? Did I drop somebody? Oh, oh. That wasn't you guys. The producer was talking. I was like, oh god, I've interrupted somebody like Launders. Oh no. We're back. We're back. Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
I was going to say that it would have been really cool to have seen from Fallen's POV that round where he was clearing A long by himself with an AWP, because that's obviously kind of risque, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it's a bit insane. If someone else does it, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. And he's always putting himself in that position. And when he gets a read, he'll just go really far with it. And there he's right. And it's like, was it? How'd you know? You know, like how are you sure? And there's so many ways that you can attack long A or A in totality. There's so many ways CTs can play it. 2 set up at long, 1 in danger, 1 ready to peek off a flash. So, you know, and just completely calls them out. And sometimes you are, just like you said, KYO, know your opponent. Sometimes you're just playing off a read. And that's what makes it hard to study demo sometimes, right? Because you see someone making a super aggressive play, and you don't know if it's because they played this team on this map and they didn't do it on this round, and they knew they could get away with it here. Or if it's just because they're crazy madmen.
Or because of miscommunication, giving them wrong information.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's another thing we can't know that.
Yeah.
And there's so I mean there's just so many instances of that. I mean we talked about it when Nothing was here as well. Like analysts sometimes they're like, oh my god, this play, this is like so awful. This is a terrible decision making. But then you find out if you like talk to the players, yeah, we actually didn't think that we got a call that the AWP was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's like
Yeah,
that was
and
like
you always
the analyst segment was on that mistake. Oh god.
Yeah, and it's tempting to always say like this was stupid or something, and no, I do it too. But I always try to remember that Socrates quote that everyone's trying to make the best decision. He said in you know a different language, but he said that everyone's always trying to make the best decision possible, right? And so at the very least, if you give them the credit of realizing that they've entered the pro scene and they're top of their top tier versus other top tier teams, that they are making a good decision from what they knew, and you can try to rationalize it from their perspective, just from what you can see.
Not always,
as best as you can. Yeah.
I think not always, because there's sometimes when you don't adapt when you should because you're too invested in your course of action. If you do know what situation I'm talking about, like as a player, like that happens a lot of the time. Like, and that can be down to a variety of reasons, but we can maybe leave that on the side for now. We got the double ults from Naf and Nifty. Are they going to hold this, Launders?
Oh, first running all the way through this. I think he's actually the only person out. So this plays an interesting role, having long B control this way, as he knows that no one's pushed up to long B plat, but oh, he's just fully committing off of it too.
Look at the distraction. They're going to keep the 4 players towards B as the push comes up. Danger. They could actually straight run up the ramp, but Foe will eventually die. But look at all the space he's created on the map. He's created all the space, James. All of the space.
Yeah, and there's still no rotation. Now, they must send a second player, but not before Nifty goes down. He's been an important player for the team so far. JKS on the balcony, but not for long because he is on fire. A lot of fire. Lost half his life, and Renegades are going to give it up. 4-on-4, but those choke points are way too choky, and they do not want those SK hands around their necks, so they'll make their exit.
Like there we can't know for sure if they did that on the fly, if they were going to commit to B if there wasn't too many nades, or if First said, I'm going to wait here and stay alive as you guys work towards A and then try to sell some kind of fake by getting a kill or dying out here, but holding rotations. You know, that's something we can't know for sure, but it made sense, whatever the reason was. Something I learned from studying MSL's demos on Cobble was that when he always used to use Rubino in his executes to come out long B off the corner of a smoke, and then as soon as the smoke would land, because people would just throw it, and he would take like 40 damage and grenade damage, but he would know for the rest of his team that were about to execute on long B that there's no one on the left side. So they wouldn't have to clear where the stairs area was, they wouldn't have to clear that cubby on the left, and everyone could come out with the backs against the wall, looking forward and being fully focused on the site. And if there was someone out there, Rubino would try to kill him right away. But that's like the information that Fur gained. So he knows that no one was testing long B, that once that smoke goes up, that no one's going to be able to see down long B, and from that he can say that's like a denial of information, so that he can say for his teammates, they can't be sure it's not long B, so we probably can be sure they'll have a 4-1 setup.
Very solid. Very cool. And that's the benefit you get from studying demos. It's like it's again, sort of like what we were saying earlier, it's hard to pick out some of these details when you're actually just like casting the match. It's actually, I mean, you need to be able to pause to like really see what happened there. And it's actually the same thing for players too. Like players are often like this is like a rule of thumb that I have, at least whenever I'm like playing a game. If you're playing with a team and people think that you lost because of one reason or any reason, they're almost like 99% of the time it's completely wrong, and you lost the game because of something else. But you just didn't see that. It's just like you're very like you have like a lot of confirmation bias because you only have your perspective firstly and it's a team game. So there's that, and then generally speaking, the way that you kind of lie to yourself sometimes about stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't correctly read the implications. So
It's nice to feel good, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
To feel right,
Yeah.
to feel like you are justice.
yeah.
The personification. You're Judge Dredd. This is wrong. This is right. Some kind of technical issue is happening. Waiting for an update on it. At the moment, it's going to be a long day of Counter-Strike. Not the best day, but fortunately most days are not like this, so let's bear that in mind.
Yeah, it's just we saved this for Launders.
It is a rare
I
occurrence.
appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You guys are good looking out.
Trial by fire. I think it's been pretty good. We've had some talks about
Yeah.
stuff. I guess that's our kind of the job.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we did it all right.
I think we did it
See
all
that
right.
on ourselves
C
on the back
plus,
here.
C plus,
Yeah. I'm going for S plus.
S plus.
By the end of the day, I'm about to turn up.
Boom.
Is there an S plus? Isn't it just like S? Isn't S is just like that's?
I think there's an S
100%.
plus.
Yeah.
But
Oh, was that
sometimes there's an S plus. Sometimes there isn't.
Street Fighter, no S plus.
I don't know if there's one. I can't even remember.
In
if there's
Third
one on the
Strike, you
current
can get S, but it's just rank
Yeah.
S.
Rank S.
But it
Normally it's
doesn't go
just
to S
S.
plus. I think.
Okay, production needs to tell us what's going on. We're just hanging at the moment. All right, we're going to a break while technical issues are sorted out. We'll see you back here shortly.
If you're a fan of crutches, then get your hands on this. But now let's focus on an even greater product, Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform.
Wow, James, that sure sounds amazing.
It is amazing, Dan. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system. Just post one to your friends.
Wow, James, that sure is cutting-edge technology.
Radios must be within a 10-metre straight line with clear line of sight and sunny weather with no wind.
Do you keep getting wrecked by hacker noobs online? Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. It feels like there's nothing inside.
That's correct, Dan. But there's more.
Behavioural index to keep you from playing with idiots. An easy way to send in your results. Multiple game titles. And here you can see a happy customer.
It's great!
If you sign up within the next 4 minutes, you will get these items for free. James White's best Christmas songs. Watermelon signed by Dan Black.
Fan är det här?
a prolonged delay. Hope you're still with us. You're still with us, James.
Firstly, apologies for the delays. Fortunately, they are rare, but still. Ideally, they don't ever happen. And at least they're all happening in one day. So hopefully we can see the resolution of this match and go on to the next one. 6-0 is the score. Thank you for your patience if you're still with us. Phelps lining up some smokes to isolate some CT players to put them on a decision. Which decision will it be? The decision to fall back and give up the space, or is it Nifty with a leg shot?
I think the risk you run when you jump over a smoke to line up an off shot is you have landing inaccuracy. But we do see a lot of offers doing it, and I think he maybe was a victim to that, but still got some damage in, which is really good.
So SK, I like this round. Some teams are a little bit sloppy and don't put enough stock in taking map control towards A. It is obviously like an important part of the default for this map, and SK are really amazing at doing it. And you know, we can see here they've got that A control, they've got that presence towards drop and previously plateau as well. So right now it's very obscure what Renegades can do, and they have lost complete information on A long. So that poses issues for Renegades. And look at SK, they can just set up an execution of a set piece from their position.
JKS with a lot to do here, exposed to two places at the same time. Didn't have much cover to the left-hand side. Nifty's here though. Molotov will force him away. He's got support on the right of the APC from Azza, but Azza goes down. Two plays here. They will have surely heard the scope trying to trade, and they will do exactly that. 3 versus 2 for the T side. Replanting it. We see Ustillo in the underpass, and Nafly making his way from the connector position. Difficult for Nafly, but at least Ustillo's got his right-hand side. Fallen getting picked off. Taco just about covering his teammate. And now Renegades have the information, but sorry, SK do. Ustillo doesn't know where the trade fragger is, looking for him in all the positions he could potentially be, but it is underneath the balcony that Cold Zero will creep. Taco making his way around the corner, looking for the high ground, looking for double peek. Can he find Taco? He's up on high ground, he's not revealing his position, just about getting the kill. You see the frustration there from Taco, realizes that he maybe almost lost the round, but there we go. The clean sheet remains for SK, 7-0.
This is why I think Cobble is such a bad map, honestly. Like with the cover at A, you have to rely on gimmicks almost to find your kills. Like we saw JKS in a spot behind a wall looking at lower A to fight, and maybe he shouldn't have been there, but it's not even really possible to cover him from that angle like safely as a teammate, where you can maybe sit at the truck, but it's still extremely hard for him to fall back. So there isn't a lot to work with, and the other thing is that forward A control is pretty easy to take as a T. It's very easy to get CTs off of it, and sometimes CTs will be up there by themselves, just waiting for anyone to test them at all, and then they fall all the way back to the site and call for rotates. It's kind of like it's not a very deep meta, and I don't appreciate it very much, but SK do a good job of abusing that fact, and always going for it, whether they send one person or 4.
It does somewhat blow my mind how little you see it from certain teams on the T side when it is so incredibly powerful, and it's very hard for the CTs to, without risk, do anything against it.
Yeah.
Phelps will catch a free frag here. That's really nice for him. That's all he's going to get, maybe. Or there is a second player to potentially respond. Doesn't realize, though. Does get caught off guard, but that is one player out of the picture for the B defense at the moment. But still, SK have not really pushed all that much towards B. So there are issues here for them, and they're going to have to commit to B, and down the plateau they walk.
Nafly has a lot to do with this 5-7. I think his teammate's facing in the other direction, but he's got 2 teammates there. Oh, he's going to get taken down in isolation. So they're both focusing on this area, and it's Ustillo's job on the plateau. I don't know what happened there. As a caught with a grenade in his hand, and this is collapsing for Renegades, or is it? It's Fallen remaining with 22 HP. He's looking for the trade fragger now, who is slowly making his way on the plateau. Not required, but it was more expensive for Renegades than it needed to be.
Definitely, and at least for them, they were able to win the round because it has been 7 rounds in a row for SK, but it's not the end of the battle for them. SK tons of money and a full buy-up. Have to try again. Now, they did fail a drop control there, which is a really important part, as we pointed out before the break. With SK, they take it and have Fur there, and he gets E-boxed, then it's going to be hard to stop any kind of B aggression, but going 1 for 1 at A helped a lot, and also shutting down Fur as he tried to take a flash peek into E-box for further control. It's a big turning point.
Yeah, and for SK, I mean, they must absolutely love playing T-side Cobble because there's so much for them to abuse. And it's much harder on other maps to attain so much map control, to obscure what they're doing as much. And need to be proactive are Renegades at the moment. Looking down plateau, you're still only with an M4 though. You have to be careful of the potential for an AWP. The AWP, however, is towards the A side of the map. In Fallen's hands, you can see him there now. Moving in with Phelps, trying to take control down here in ramp. And again, SK, they're pressuring both sides of the map, and there's 1 minute left. There's still no way for Renegades to know which way they're going.
That was so sick how they took lower A there. The crossing fat flashes and oh wow, Taco just walked out.
What is going on?
Oh my
gosh.
god.
First the A site, now the B bomb site. Just free kills. This is absolutely free. Gratis for the SK side. But maybe they have a fighting chance. First still in connector.
Yeah, they did allow the opportunity for there to be in
Excuse me.
maybe for Renegades to go for it, but they're not going to, I don't think.
What a way to lose a round where it's like, if we lose this round, guys, we get reset. Oh god. Just 2 free kills.
I think maybe Taco did something very meta there, where he was on the front side of the long control,
Yep.
and because they didn't push up to take advantage of it, he thought, or he figured, all right, they're not going to worry about this until someone throws a flash to retake long. But he knows that no one's pushed up because he actually peeked out. So I think he waited long enough that he felt comfortable walking.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Do you miss playing?
What's that?
Do you miss playing Counter-Strike?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much. It's a lot of work though, right? It's
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's really becomes a job. I feel like. And
it's all consuming.
And we're seeing the teams that are at the top of their game, but there's only a handful of those players, and the rest of them are working just as hard. But
Grinding away in the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have FNS tattooed on your hand?
Yeah, it was. I used to rap. I had a group, and her name was FNS. So it was me and my friends all got FNS tattoos.
Thank God.
I just looked up to a specific brown Counter-Strike player, and I idolized him, and so I got a tattoo.
That would have been so good if you trolled it. Like, that would have been super sick.
I am a good reader of liars. You're
Are you
getting
really?
away with that one.
Maybe he's lying right now. Maybe it is actually.
I've looked into your poker career, so do you know that?
Okay,
Well, SK are going for old school Cobblestone, where they just go out and peek people, and why not? Because it seems to be working across the entire map for them in this game of Cobblestone.
it's Kabobulous. Simply Kabobulous.
Well, it's a pistol round, so we'll just witness the slaughter. There's an ooh from production for the 1 pistol kill Renegades got in that round.
Witness the sickness.
Oh, look at you.
That's an AK name.
Look at you rhyming with rhymes.
It's very hip hop.
I forget which that's a lyric from a hip hop trap. I forget which one it is. I mean, this is pretty generic, so it's probably there are quite a few.
Lyricist, physicist. How about that for rap?
Isn't that not just a CV? Anyway, Taco looking to just be cheeky still. Ooh, lost bullets. Azza is done. This is. Can someone explain
SK
what's going on, really?
probably think that their opponents are making so many mistakes they just do not care, and perhaps getting a bit sloppy.
Yeah. James, who's the Cloud9 analyst, who's been doing ESL Pro League, pointed out that SK seem to game harder on certain teams than other teams. A lot of teams talk about how they give them a lot of respect in scrims and stuff like that. But you can definitely see when SK played like Cloud9 on Cobble or something, they're playing really carefully. I think they do recognize them as international tier competition. And I think Renegades are on the cusp, honestly. I feel like their lineup is very solid. I think Nifty first of all has come into his own. I think that Nafly is a great addition to the team, and is I feel like was maybe not on par with Rush, but I feel like he's just that. Have you ever seen Digimon? You know, like Togepi, how he turns into the like Archangel or whatever when you need him. You know what I mean? I feel like he has that same clutch quality as Togepi.
Nice.
And we do see that.
I did watch Digimon. I
Didn't
do
watch
remember
Digimon.
the theme tune, but I don't remember anything else.
I don't know any of the Mons, Pokemon, Digimon.
You know, too cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Mon.
No.
Thing.
me.
I think I
This
remember
wasn't.
which.
I was Transformers and Thundercats and Thunderbirds.
But all that, well, I
So
guess all
don't
that
have-
stuff was long before.
Why not just have Thunderbirds when you can also have
Lemons.
Thundercats? Add the birds and the cats.
It's true. And there's the music as well.
I think I remember the artist that I think it's Roots Maneuver. I'm thinking of Roots Maneuver, UK artist. Shout out to UK rap scene.
I like UK EDM.
Okay, we're gonna have to introduce you to UK hip hop at some point.
Yeah, I'll listen to a little bit. Just a tiny bit. But it's I'm sure it's just the surface level stuff that has made its way to America.
We have some experts in production, so we'll get you some crash courses
Okay.
in UK hip hop. Well, SK looking like they're giving a crash course to Renegades. T-side. Well, to all of us. T-side. Well, it was like that until now. I think until now, recent rounds of this are running at them.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe not at all. So
Yeah, I mean, respect is earned, right? Like, teams
Yes.
teams always talk about how,
it's not given its
oh,
own.
they're just running over us. This isn't practice. And it's like, you can't run over a really good team.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
or a team that in that moment is better than you.
Yeah. I think I can see like the difference that some people might sort of posit there, because it's like, well, some teams they play with that respect to the degree that they wouldn't do it in a match,
Mhm.
right? And maybe they'll run over you, but they're taking an extraordinary risk. So I can kind of see where some people are coming from, you know.
Yeah. So that's something that can't be said in a match, though.
That's true. That is true. That is very true.
I've definitely heard that in scrims. Oh, as scrimming in North America, that's something that people talk about all the time. You know, this team isn't worth playing. They don't play like this in matches.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot actually. Yeah. I can see that.
Sometimes it feels good to downplay the other team just for the sake of camaraderie. I think that's another reason why releasing team comps can be dangerous, because I feel like you are sometimes bashing the other team unknowingly, or just because you're
Yeah.
trying to
Oh, yeah,
uplift
thought
your
it.
own.
Yeah.
right?
I think that's like almost always the case actually. I think it's rare that people really like
The French do it a lot.
malicious, you
Yeah.
know. It's not never really malice. It's
Yeah.
It is it's just like hooah.
Yeah.
Team. Let's go team.
If your teammate misses, unlucky, right? If someone makes a play on them, unlucky.
I just say deserved.
Deserved?
Deserved.
Foul play.
That's
So
made a
you,
bad play.
you came
You
from a
deserve
1v1 game.
Well, it's SK, you know, taking drop as you were talking about. They still have the Molotovs to clear the second room if they so desire. Does he have it? Yeah, nope, he's got the smoke. He's cold zero and Fallen with the Molotovs, and out they go. Connector. Az is just going to be chilling, man. He's just chilling there by the pillar. Able to get a kill as JKS receives the push, all the info there for Renegades, and with 10 seconds left, SK are dead.
Nice.
What happened there?
Good hold all around. Azza played an important role outside of drop, not dying. I don't know why they didn't try to clear it properly. They were still 5v5. They didn't have info on the back of the window, and as they smoked out E-box, you would assume that the CTs would try to pick up the window because they don't know if it's going to be B or not, and instead they let him just stand on the other side of the pillar and kind of jiggle around it and get a kill. That was important. That's what happened.
Okay, well, they need to make some consistency out of this. Oh, that's a great catch from Naf.
Yeah, and then you can see Taco's trying to bounce those nade off the wall. He's not even trying to peek, so he's barely giving up anything.
Taco was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, James.
I've never had a cookie jar.
Really?
Yeah.
That was even before your time then.
I just had you know, a bag of cookies from the store, and you just used the bag.
What did you think about you, James? I was talking about Taco. You made it about you immediately.
Because you said James.
Yeah,
you made it about me.
No, I was wanted you to comment about the Taco getting his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Well, I can't relate
It's
'cause
like, well-
I never had a cookie jar. That's the point. Where's my cookie jar, right? What about my cookies?
We'll
Some stuff
work on
unsurfacing
that.
right now.
We touched on that about the cookies. This man needs some cookies.
Too fat for cookies, gotta be honest.
Maybe we'll just bring you the jars. I'll take the cookies. Bring you the jar. Well, I can't really eat them either.
Pass me the lettuce. Cheers.
Oh, this is not working out so well for SK at the moment. Trying to make plays across the map now. It's a good pick off from Feltz actually, but there's 25 seconds. If there's more time, you feel like, okay, this is a really winnable round if they have time for rotations and so on. But SK just have to just explode and go for it.
You still not holding for him. Oh yeah, yeah. He was watching too wide.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, there. Nafly has revealed his position, but there are 7 seconds left. Can the bomb go down? They are surrounded. Nafly just needs to survive, and there's no angle to plant the bomb. Renegades getting a fighting chance in the dying rounds of the first half.
That was kind of a really good spray control there to get that second headshot.
That's how the cookie crumbles, James.
The shoe is on
There wasn't much crumbling on my cookies. I guess it was preservatives.
But they just rock hard. Just like
Oh, poor James.
he's gone. He's dead now. Dead now, of course. Well, note yourself. Do not talk about cookies around James.
Yeah, triggers.
We've got a fast push in from SK. They need to close out this first half with speed, but they will be dealt with quite quickly. Cold though. Man, this is just SK, isn't it?
Yeah, that looked like it was going to fail hard. Nifty, Nath got those 2 kills, both one at drop, one at long. 2 ways to shut down the push, and I'm holding 1v2. He's looking on point though. He's very aware. He's got lots of time left too. I mean, he could easily win this. Bomb down, it's a whole different game. He has a smoke to separate him from the site too. Yeah. So even if he doesn't use this smoke right, they have to assume that he could have crossed. So he's got options.
Cole's move, like cross-air movement, is incredibly smooth.
Yeah, it's not even that fast, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I can, and it's like very precise as well. If he needs to be, like, can be super slow.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't normally notice this about players, but his is very smooth. I can almost see his mouse on the mouse pad. But enough about that as they start to move their way in onto his position. Can Colt do it for the quad kill here? The clutch. Oh, there's the spray. Oh, he gets the kill, but
No time. That's close.
Oh, this is so damn close.
Oh,
he's got it.
Wow.
That was insane close.
Yeah, that was very, very close. They gave him so much respect too. They went for the big rotate instead of doing 2 1v1s, even though they had a big flank. And yeah, came down to the wire. I noticed that Cold's aim is it's got quite similar to Nico's in my opinion.
So one of the things about Cold as well, I want to make I was going to make a mouse control point, but we don't have gameplay now, so ruined. Never mind. Just have to hold on to that gem forever.
Stupid Counter-Strike happening in front of us.
I say that, but no, I'm just silent. So could have just continued.
Well, there seems to be a lot of downtime, which you do get on Cobble because there's so much of the map that T's can clear, and sometimes CTs don't. Sometimes you don't even have to be pushed up CT.
Maybe we should look at Fallen now to see how he's taking angles with the AWP. He does have support this time. He's not alone. Obviously, his teammates have made their way into drop, so I don't want to mess up your observing too much, Connor. I know that you're doing this for us, but they're working into the split here. Fallen still holding the angle, has the support. So we're pretty much on Fallen cam here just to see how he handles this, how he supports the push. There's the refrag from Fallen, good stuff. The bomb is on Cold at the moment. As we continue on Fallen cam just to see again how he's playing the angles, how he's moving around. Watching for the rat hole position as well as the doors which are now smoked off. Good job by the CTs forcing the reposition from Fallen. As he makes his way around, he's focusing on balcony, but also can go for the peek towards rat hole. There it is. Takes down Ustilla. Great timing there.
That is a double-edged sword of... Whoa, just get hit through the wall?
I think so, yeah.
That's the last round, so he's got to go for it. I think that's a double-edged sword of throwing a flash sometimes, because if the flash isn't good, that's just a cue to peek, right? Because the other team, you know, is going to feel like, okay, someone's going to be blind. I can run out, I can wide peek. And in that situation, Fallen hears this flash pop. It doesn't blind him because he's behind stable, and then he peeks out and easily catches someone running out of the rat hole. That's a sense of false confidence almost, whereas if they assume they had no flashes, then maybe Fallen doesn't even peek. Maybe he gets a lot more ground.
But instead, is victory.
Yeah.
SK victory. They will be on the pistol on the CT side now, so be curious to see how well Renegades are versed in their Cobbler's fundamentals. I think typically they have been good on this map, so we'll see how it goes, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, I would say the only thing... Renegades just aren't all that layered. I would say they're more execute heavy, I think. But they do have really good executes. So, and there's nothing like T-side Cobble to give you the freedom to set up in a 5v5 over any other map. It's not demanded of you to work for anything really before you want to go into an execute.
James sat down.
James is dying.
And immediately left again after voicing his dissatisfaction with his asthma.
12, by the way.
That's good job there, production. That was very nice, but more needed. But Renegades able to actually clear their way onto the B site here. There is obviously, well, now just one player left here for the SK side. It's not an easy one for Taco as he makes his way forwards. Taco is so impossibly difficult. Gets a pop. Can he actually pull this one out of the bag as he turns the corner, looking for those players? You never know in a pistol round. It's all down to the headshots as Taco gets close to the bomb. He can now pressure it. He doesn't have a kit. That is a big issue. Here comes the flick, but he just can't quite get the connections, and that's what Renegades have to do. Just play the time. You don't even have to frag Taco. He hasn't got a kit. They'll make the frag happen though in the end. And I'm curious about the usage of that. That's I don't even know what it's called, that little horn sound, because isn't that usually used after like a missed joke or something, like a fail?
Yeah.
There was nothing really going on.
No.
It was just kind of out of the blue.
Strange.
So I guess we need to fire some people then, I guess.
It's an odd thing to do.
Oh, it's a sad trombone. Okay. They played a sad trombone for you, James, apparently. Apparently it was sad.
I can't really talk yet.
Okay.
I got a hot drink, but it's too hot. I burned my tongue. so I'm still
Everything's
coughing
falling apart.
until I could actually drink it. Bye.
Alright, well, as he says, we've got the scout there on Fallen. Just a single smoke grenade as well. You've got to be cautious in these rounds. I mean, you spoke to Renegades set-piece executions, but we may not see one. The bomb is towards the A site at the moment.
You know, I think teams need to think about, are we always being useful? Like, if they don't have a set goal in the round, that's when players get picked off, and then that's when you lose in ecos, right? So does everyone know their job? Has your IGL delegated responsibilities to everybody, and do they all know that they're actually working on something? Or they're all just hanging out until like a certain time for no particular reason, which allows CTs to, who maybe have a plan to get something done.
And also, if there's scouts on the field, they can get picks, they can rotate, use an ability, but they won't run into that issue just yet. Fallen does have one, but Phelps amongst the smoke. He's going to use that to expert effect. They will eventually take him down with a fire through that smoke. However, Cole's still lurking around with the CZ. We've seen how much damage they can do today as JKS gets the plant, and Renegades can put their backs against the wall there as they play the post-plant. Strong position for them. Cold, though, as the smoke emerges, somehow catches a headshot in the air. Unbelievable stuff. It's down to Fallen and Furtho. The last two men standing. The Flicks can't make their way onto any wayward T heads as Fallen had really wanted, but it's going to be down to Fur to just try to do some exit damage now, perhaps, as he's definitely out of position to do anything else.
He has a custom EC1, I think, custom in size.
Custom in size, so he had, what did he request from
I think they made him a new shell, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So is it like taller? Because I guess the base is the same.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did. I can't remember if he made it wider or if he made the hump higher or something like that, but
That's interesting.
yeah.
That's cool. Is he a claw player or is he palm player? Give us
His
clues.
is kind of almost
Is he hybrid?
almost fingertip, to be honest, which you wouldn't expect. But
When you say almost fingertips, do you mean like?
fingertip grip, as in like he's not got most of his palm resting on,
Okay.
and he's not clawed because he's not like pushing it.
Kind of hybrid. Interesting.
I started when I moved away from my previous mouse. So I use an EC1 now, but I started with an EC2, which I found was cool for AWPing because it's smaller, but it was just too small for my hand for rifling because I've got pretty big hands, so I went to EC1. But somewhere in the middle, I think, would be ideal for me. But enough about that. We've got the buy round. SK do not have a lot of grenades, and they don't have an AWP, which makes it more difficult for them to get an early advantage on what is already a difficult map for CTs to do that.
It's hard to play 4-1, which you always want to do. And here we have the 3-2, and it's going to be answered with a B execute. This is a good call.
Taco, great position, great frag, falls back. There's no one in drop, and that's, you can see why that's problematic. If there was players in drop, Taco can't really fall back like that. And it's an absolute smashing of Renegade's explosive round. And again, that's the power of the split. Like if you split, there's nowhere to fall back to. So it's
It was really good. I love when there's a smoke wall and you have, if one teammate is inside the smoke wall, then they're isolated and ready to die. And you always have a better chance of holding the site if you can keep both players alive and fighting. So either both players passive or both players fighting. If you leave one person, then you risk going 5v4, whereas otherwise you have like a 5v5 retake or something, or you know, a chance for two of you to re-aggress at the same time. And I like that Taco pushed in front of the smoke to open up with that first kill. It took attention away from Coldzera, who got to peek out from, who had the perfect excuse to peek from Chicken Coop. And for him to get 2 kills was such a Coldzera moment, but that first one came for free, right?
Yeah, and then he becomes a monster bait for his teammates who just cause absolute bedlam. CT crossfire as Renegades are charging the site. Speaking of which, now they're charging the A site, 4 versus 2. We've got one person looking to fight pretty close, but the Molotovs may deny them that opportunity. So Renegades answering straight back with mad violence of their own. But it's SK with a 5-round lead, soon to be 4. Do they have money to weather the storm after not losing a single player in the previous round? Not quite. Not amazing. They could drop 2 rifles to buy around what they have. Well, actually, yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised. It would almost be a reset of the situation because they would be lacking grenades again. Fur has 3100, so we'll see what they choose to do. It would be a kind of crap, but...
And this is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people dislike Cobblestone, because you know this next round is going to sort of like really show us why it's so annoying that you just don't have any options, really proper options to be aggressive on the CT side. Because you get to this spot where it's like, all right, we can't really have the optimal buy, but we have something. We have some rifles and some utility into this round. Or have I misread this? Do they have enough money to have a full setup?
Oh, they somehow mathed it out. Let's see what Coldzera picks up.
Oh, they have more grenades than I expected.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah,
actually really legit.
Oh,
Okay,
healthy.
never mind then. I was expecting a lesser buy than this, and then I'll make the point that it's like they can't really do anything but the standard stuff you would do with the rifles. So it just removes the dimension of gameplay.
Yeah, and on a low buy, you would try to do something somewhat aggressive to get that 5v4 to either get a gun back or to make it easy on yourselves to not have to rotate. Figure out where to put the weak guns.
Yeah. Teams have been pretty good at taking plateau control, like deep plateau control. That's something that I've seen more and more of in the last few months, which is cool. But it's not something you can do all the time, and it is like really hard to do very well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like that long B smoke. But let's say a team wants to rush B is still extremely strong, and you kind of have to wait until the calm before you can decide whether you want to go for control like that. You can't just do it right at a spawn. Oh, what's he throwing here at smoke? Okay.
Instantly crushed. Very unfortunate there for Fallen only getting 1 as well. That's not value, not the kind of value you're looking for. Phelps now needs to be Mr. Value as he turns his attention down to the players barreling up the ramp, and he can't stop them. It's down to Taco and Cole. But the question is, can Cole get into a position to create some space? Really, you'd love him to dive out the balcony, but you just get wrecked. So it's really tough. Now he's got to play off Taco, who does have a good avenue of attack coming up from the ramp position.
Got himself a 1 versus 1. Yustillo's looking in 2 places at the same time, and his gun's exposed his position. And Taco will take him down. Full health, gets the AK upgrade as well. And now it's a 2-on-2. Where does Nifty look? Could be balcony, could be this corner of the APC. And he knows where Taco is, coming up the slope as well. So 3 places for 2 players to look. Taco looking for a shot, throwing distraction, but as it answers back, almost double peek coming in. Is it enough? It is. Down to the wire.
You see it happening because it's cold.
Yeah, because it's cold.
Oh.
But another good, and there they destroyed SK's defaults with Nafly coming out on that entry at long A. The smoke comes out as soon as it possibly can, as soon as they got any info, but their spacing was impeccable and allowed them to trade on Fallen and further holding with ease. So, you know, even Fallen's hands being busy for that 1.5 seconds in the animation of throwing the smoke allows them to know that they can focus their attention on the right before going to the left. It makes that a lot easier to do. So you can see it's really difficult to hold on to A. And I liked that on that previous round we had Renegades rush B at a very calculated moment when they knew that SK didn't have a lot of grenades to stop any kind of rush.
And now it's just sort of easy pickings as they make their way into the B site. CZ's not finding the forward connections they needed, the close range engagements they needed. So this is 10 rounds from Renegades, and Renegades were getting, I don't want to say completely crushed, but I feel like the first half was very convincingly SK's, and Renegades have done great to turn things around. Yeah, I mean, you can see there's 11-4 first half for SK, and they've only won 1 round on the second half, so SK struggling massively on the CT side at the moment.
You almost never see SK ever struggle in the second half when they have a great lead. It's usually them easily coming back or making it seem like the game was never in the other team's favor. But Renegade's doing a good job picking all the right kind of executes to use. But again, it can be one mistake that really sets it off here, and I like that they have slowed down the pace, knowing that SK realized that on a forced round in the past, Renegades have tried to abuse that by going quickly. So that is a good excuse to know that SK will try to use nades earlier than they should in anticipation of something, just in case. But that leaves them kind of destitute. They've only got a single smoke left, and Renegades still have all their Molotovs as well.
So SK don't have any information really on the map at the moment. Not too surprising. Playing CT of Cobble, they don't have any forward setups on A, and that's sort of what I was looking at there. And Renegades setting up the B execution as well.
That tree better get mollied considering how many mollies they do have.
There we go. Forcing the CTs off. The wall of smoke again. This time there are no CTs in front of it. They're just getting into position. Got to be careful he doesn't get sprayed by these T players. He's looking to spray some players himself. Bomb planted on the fountain. There's a push on the low ground. Taco instantly traded, and that may compromise the CT position because JKS is in a strong spot.
I think they can boost.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Oh man, no boost for you.
They looked for a second player there though.
No, no way.
SK are encroaching Nifty. If that second player is going to do damage, Nifty has to keep creating distraction here. Ooh, that bounce is quite interesting.
Oh wow, he could win this.
Here comes Naf from the back. Tap there. Now they have to go pursuit. Takes the next engagement. Great stop here from Naf. He might have done it. So much damage there onto Fallen, and there's no time. Naf makes it work. Fallen he's exploded, James. He's exploderized.
He has exploderized. I didn't realize he had a yellow visor on. There we go. Maybe it's better for the computer screens. Who knows? Who knows? Nafly with a great job there. Sold his whole team to win the round. Keep it close and keep SK broke.
I think the initial plan was to put his teammate up to help him assist on frags, but once his teammate died, it was just like on-the-fly adjustment. Like, all right, well, they killed somebody at Chicken Coop. They'll probably be satisfied with this location. Let's try to abuse that or milk it for as much as we could. Nifty was there, understanding that it's not him that has the most powerful spot anymore. It's actually Naf, even though it should be known that people play Chicken Coop. Oh my goodness.
Hello. Hello.
That's so much info. That's a 1 kill down and all of this long B as well as a gun retrieved.
Yeah, this is where problems start to happen. The only saving grace is there's no Kevlar on these CT players. Really just going to be cold. Actually gets himself a kill, creates distraction. Taco capitalizes, spots the bomb. Preview to advantage, but no advantage anymore. Equalized. But it is the guys with guns for the CT side that are left. Phelps has a potentially round-winning position as he plays with the cannons.
They're never checking this. Does he kill the first play? That's the question. There is no way. They definitely aren't going to check that angle. And he's going to win the round from there.
There's definitely a universe very close to ours where they didn't check that angle. But they did. And that was the gun that Fallen got too.
This is quite smart actually, looking for the jump. But this is a thing too, is where it's like, if there's no jump, then he's like, well, there's no way he can win the round.
Yeah.
And so it's like that you need something to be given to you. Sometimes you can't like go and get something. Sometimes something has to come to you in that sense.
What's that old adage? Only a fool gives up a crossfire.
How old is that adage?
At least 4 years.
Sun Tzu.
There is an old African saying.
It's
It's about the old African sayings, man. That's too obscure a UK reference though for a North American audience.
What did you
What did you
say?
say?
There is an old African saying. There was a show. I don't know if it was called The Real McCoy in the UK. You can find it on YouTube. It's super old. And there was a guy who'd always be like, "There is an old African saying," and then he'd just say some random crap.
I would want to build on that, but I just don't want to mess up an accent right now.
Go on,
No, I'm not going
give
to.
us your best Nigerian accent,
I didn't even know that's where it was.
straight out of Lagos.
Straight up.
Lagos, Lagos,
It's my favorite album.
straight from Lagos.
Oh man.
Me and the boys in Lagos. 12-12.
What just happened? But did Nifty try to throw the running long B smoke, or the running sidewalk smoke? Or oh, it looks like Nip smokes. Oh!
Wow,
It's like everyone's
Huh.
gone to Lagos.
they've been slayed.
Oh my gosh.
They've been slayed. Well, that's interesting. It's been a while since we've had one of those. That's actually quite hilarious to me. Although I'm sure it's not
All their
hilarious to the
guns.
players, but especially because they just jumped.
Oh god.
Producer just sold you out.
I got fully wrecked.
Man
What's going
spreading.
on here?
You're man spreading on camera, Dan. You've gotta-
I apologize.
BuzzFeed's gonna have a heyday.
well, we don't know what's going
Putting
on,
ideas
but
in
that's
people's heads,
definitely going to take a
people's heads.
while to fix. Well, I think we had to break. Maybe
Yeah,
I can
it's
drink
probably
some
a good
hot
call, I
drinks
think.
and have control my asthma a bit more. All right, break time. We'll see you in a few minutes.
If you're a fan of crutches, then get your hands on this. But now let's focus on an even greater product, Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform.
Wow, James, that sure sounds amazing.
It is amazing, Dan. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system. Just post one to your friends.
Wow, James, that sure is cutting-edge technology.
Radios must be within a 10-metre straight line with clear line of sight and sunny weather with no wind.
Do you keep getting wrecked by hacker noobs online? Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. It feels like there's nothing inside.
That's correct, Dan. But there's more.
Behavioural index to keep you from playing with idiots. An easy way to send in your results. Multiple game titles. And here you can see a happy customer.
It's great!
If you sign up within the next 4 minutes, you will get these items for free. James White's best Christmas songs. Watermelon signed by Dan Black.
Fan är det här?
Hello, there we go. Not sure what happened there. Apologies, and we're back. 12-12 is the score. Double Ops continuing on the CT side. And see if SK can win some rounds. It has not been a good second half for them, and it looks like Renegades are almost locked to win this match.
Yeah, the SK have been struggling. They haven't been able to deal with the executes. Renegades are picking the right side, the right time, and the right tempo. And those three in combination has been a dangerous force for them. They also have the upper hand of being able to throw any one of those punches right now. And SK, I don't think that they have had a read on anything, so we'll have to throw a random setup at them, I think, and hope that it works. It's going to be hard to read.
So looking for a timing grenade, but he won't find anything there. Some spray to contribute a bit more. But Renegades not accepting donations right now. Pretty much the entire Renegades team focused on this A site, looking to far outnumber SK. Perhaps looking to just blast to burst when they get their first entry.
Problem in their setup with one person on the door, they can't really safely watch long and support fur at the same time. The A-split might work out kind of nicely.
Almost a double engagement. Fallen around the APC, does have some support. And now he's on life support and gone. 3 on 3. Phelps has a good angle for the cross, but I don't know if he'll be fast enough to find an engagement there. That's great play, sees the flashbang, takes a forward approach. Nifty gets picked off, so the numbers remain equal. Coldzera with a lovely snap onto JKS, and he's hunting. He knows that they have to plant. Azza has to hold it down, and he will somehow get the plant, but SK finally win another round. Coldzera delaying the defuse in case weapons need to be collected. Indeed, they will loot, pick up any grenades, anything they can find, and then go and defuse the bomb afterwards.
Yep, they've got all they need to. Are making the most of this, and it's very smart of them, obviously, because they're extremely low, and with all the known bodies on the slower ramp. They haven't actually found any utility, I don't think.
No, but at least you can see they're taking it more seriously now. They understand that they could actually lose this match, which I don't think they would have thought like that the way the first half was going, but that seems like a long time ago now.
It definitely does seem like far in the past. It's hard to even see what they need to do differently. Renegades have done a great job trading, only letting SK get away with 1 kill at a time, which has been a big win. SK still in the lead, however. And here,
doing it again.
Oh yeah.
What if it makes the server drop?
Yeah, that's what happened. If they jump and clap their heels, they might disappear.
Well, those are the NIP signature smokes. We have a forward blade from the CT. He's almost a crossfire as well. And they continue to go in one by one. This is not the best idea for Renegades. Losing 2 players before they're anywhere near plateau, and now it's abandoned ship. But what options do they have left? They have time on their side, but they don't have really the personnel to go on an expedition. Nafly making his way through T-spawn in case there's a flank. In a 3 versus 5, that tells you they are not in an ideal situation.
That's a risky run when you can get telegraphed with utility, is that you could run and have to do it through a smoke, and so coming through that drop smoke meant that you can kind of play in front of it, and it's so easy to kill people jumping through a drop smoke. Even have the re-smoke available, and none of the Renegades were ready to even run out long B quite yet. They had a distance to go. Now they want to play the saving game. They just can't really give that tell away quite yet. They've got to make it at least seem like they're trying, or not make any noise. And hope just as I say that, Snapfly swings on the rock.
Sailboats, I think is what he's telling us.
You'd break a knife if you did that.
Oh, he's actually just
Not
baiting.
Like, it would just like blunt it straight away.
I used to think when skins first came out that if you use them enough, they would lower in wear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did wonder about that as well. I think I did think that.
Yeah.
What is this gun he's got? Orbit MK01. I don't recognize this.
I don't either.
We need to see him spawn in the next round. Oh, this is what I hate. I want to look at my skins. I paid a lot of money for my skins, and you start, and it's black and white. It's like, it's like they're taking away from my experience, man.
It's the only true moment that you get to really
Yeah,
appreciate
man,
it.
it's like 15 seconds of glory, and you're making me look at my stuff in monochrome.
What's a monochrome fade?
Yeah.
What value does that have?
Yeah, man. I've got shiny stickers on almost all my guns, like I've got ADHD. I want to see them shine. in more than 2 colors. Or more than a shade, shall we say.
The audacious boost at drop with the op.
3-1 play down A long as well. There it is. It's a flashbang for Fur. Their right hand, right click the smoke. Ooh, Fallen. Not the easiest shots. He's gonna go for it. I love that. I love it. It's like, I'm not gonna wait for you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kill you.
I don't see a teammate. Oh, you're trying to lurk.
That's so important as well, because now that free's fallen up to just go elsewhere and do other things. Otherwise he would just be waiting. Phelps in position as well. Like, looks like SK really feeling out this aggression towards A, but still coming to the kills, or to rather to the shots through the smoke.
They're really challenging them and making them pay for not being scared. They always do. They always will play close to your smoke, so they'll always re-aggress when you take map control. Renegades recognizing that, finding all the correct spams, going through all the right motions, and even though Fallen gets that opening kill, they get 2. And the funny part is Fallen still has information because he's still being aggressive. So that might tip them off. 4 drop. Interesting. I wonder where they'll actually go though.
Taco trying to buy time, and time is on their side. Spray's only good for 1 kill. Cold Zero tagging, but not quite fragging. There are 60 seconds for the bomb to go down, trying to prioritize, but he can't do it. And Renegades look to be back to winning ways. Fallen on his own, looking for an early entry, looking for a way back into this round, but the smoke will deny him. So Renegades will keep it close.
So people will focus on, as the round gets later on and people go down in numbers, you will start to only hold on to the most important things, whatever's protecting your bomb site, right? Which is like long B or A sitting on the site. Cobble is kind of weird because A is so wide open. But there we see Renegades see an opportunity to go drop when it most likely won't be heavily played, and expect at the very best that SK will only get 1. They unfortunately only find nobody there, and then hit a site. They still went to the site with 2 people, but they handled it really nicely. Immaculate spacing, instant trades, and are keeping SK off that match point.
Okay,
Big
well,
round.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it. It's a big round, James. Why is it a big round?
If SK lose this round, they may just lose.
That's a big round, James.
Because they got no money in the bank.
It's a good definition.
Massive round.
Whatever came of that cold boost that they did a drop?
I'm not sure actually. I mean, we focused on the action towards A as they were pushing there with 3.
Yeah.
And there's 3 CT defenders there too, so I guess maybe nothing.
Nifty with ice in his veins.
Another play into A long for doing the same thing, waiting for the turn slightly, so he waits for the flash, gets partial blinded as he throws the smoke down. And this looks the same as the previous round, so they may be expecting there to be a second man where Fallen was at the bottom of the ramp. But they're all going to rotate out. And again, this is, shows some decent understanding for Renegades. Showing presence, showing players. Obviously with 3 players you can have like the right nades. It really does look like you're trying to invest a lot in taking A. And they've done basically the minimum, but gotten the maximum result of like completely removing all presence from A.
Yeah.
A long, that is.
Yeah, showing that they do have a strong default as well. And I heard they have 3 people at B, 1 outside the window. 5v5, but with drop control. Maybe favors the terrace a little bit. Nice peek from Azza.
Azza. Yes, indeed. It's 3v3 as the bomb starts to make its way towards the bomb site for the plants. But it's fallen to plant JKS into the ground. Although the trade is there from Nifty. Fur is tapping away, providing quite some presence. Obviously, they have to get the bomb down. First taking full advantage, starting to go for the creep hit. Finds the angle, but it's Nifty to find the shot.
Done!
Woo! Good stuff there from Nifty. 14-14 the score as these 2 teams looking to, well, looking quite inseparable at the moment.
Looking to win.
Looking to things.
That's
Looking to things.
Nifty's it's only his 9th
Ninth
kill of the match. And
That's
look at how important it was.
That's what Fallen said actually. He said once, you know, if we have a round or half where everybody gets all these kills, but they lose every single round, and one person won a 1v1 only has 1 kill, they're the most important person of the half, right? And that couldn't have come at a better time. Staved off match point. They put SK on a save too. Wow, man.
Damn.
Damn, son.
Damn.
I'd be surprised if Nifty was actually hard clearing that too. And that he was just kind of walking up, so if it was a flick as well, that makes it all that more impressive.
I think he probably scoped it because I think he has to.
No, I think he was scoped. I just don't know if he was like right on him when he peeked.
Oh, I see. Yeah. A spot of pre-fire from Ustilo will yield limited results.
This is when teams are the most afraid, though. I actually think that this is why we see ecos happen so late in the game sometimes, just because this is when teams try to play their anti-eco to such perfection that they make mistakes. And they end up wasting too much time on indecision, and here it is.
They are hesitant to be decisive.
Right.
That is an outstanding phrase that I just came up with.
I don't know what it
Quote
means.
yourself.
It means they're afraid to take decisions that they know are the right decisions to make. Because it's like, what if this happens or that? It's the pressure of the random USPs!
The stack!
Oh no!
Oh my god.
How do you get match point of USP, son?
They haven't got it yet.
Oh!
Wait. Let's calm this down. JKS, you're fine.
He's not calm.
You're fine.
He's not calm at the
You
moment.
got this.
You're funny, Dan.
You got this,
He's got 10
JKS. They don't have
seconds.
Kevlar.
Oh no.
You got an AK.
Jesus.
You got this. Here he goes. Oh, he's dead. He's not fine, James.
Yeah, the boys.
He's dead.
AWP. What? Okay then. See, they were. Well, I don't know
Was
if
that
they
pure
were.
USPs?
It was.
Taco had a deagle.
They must have. Oh yeah, they were full saving. They were playing for OT. Yeah,
they were
didn't-
playing
for
Yeah,
OT,
they didn't even
but-
upgrade really.
What a way to make your name in ECS.
Holy smokes. They had that hard rotate to A, just read it perfectly.
Oh my god. That's not. If Renegades lose this map, they are just gonna cry themselves to sleep.
They were so
Disband.
close to the banquet, and now they are chewing on bricks.
Why bricks?
Why not?
Why not just? Oh, never mind. I forgot it's you, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
you.
it
It's
is
you.
me.
It's you, isn't it?
I'm back, Dan.
Just do whatever. Say whatever you want.
Forgot about me.
No,
It makes
no
It
consequences.
makes
you know.
absolutely no sense.
Chewing on bricks.
But it's me, so it does make sense because it's me.
No, just no consequences. If I said that, I'd get ruined immediately.
Yeah,
that
because
Ryan.
it'll be out of ordinary for you. It is ordinary for me, Dan. That's the difference. Yeah, you must accept me for who I am.
It's the Mitch Hedberg of esports.
I accepted you. You must accept me. That's how this combo works, man. That's why we don't implode.
Well, anyway, drop control for Renegades. And SK Gaming. I mean, SK are just so ready for this. They know understand exactly where the position's coming from. The great positions here. Look at the movements. And it's just JKS and Nifty left, and this is oh god.
Damn!
I can't believe that last round still. I can't believe you've done this. 16 to 14, losing match point to a USP set.